and welcome back to my channel. Here I am. Last night I enjoyed sleeping at a Cracker Barrel in Ohio, and I slept so good. I slept so good. And I enjoyed my dinner, and I enjoyed my breakfast and tea this morning. It's all good. It's all good. So I am about to put my lunch together, and a handful of you have been interested in seeing how my kitchen works when I'm actually preparing a meal. So here I go. So the first thing I do is I'm going to take my food out of the cooler, put it on, because I'm going to make a salad. So I'm going to put it all on the salad bar. So what that looks like is I'm going to go like this and then open her up. And you know, I've like taken the little knee pad and knelt down here. I can kneel down and do it, but I feel comfortable enough just doing this. So I want my purple cabbage, and I want my rice, and I want my chicken, I want my arugula, my green onions, I want the avocado, I want these carrots, and I want these radish, and I want a cuke right there. There's a cuke. And let's see what else I want. I think that might be it. Because that's the broccoli. I'll have that for dinner. The sweet potatoes, I'll have that for dinner. So yeah, and you know, this insulated cooler is really staying very, very well insulated because of that little project I did. There's a video on that. If you go back a bit, you'll see that I made a video on just creating extra insulation inside this cooler. I open this up and that cold just hits me in the face. So it's all good. My freezer is once a day. I'm swapping these out once a day. Really, all it needs is once a day. So let me see. Let's see. I'm gonna get out my big ass salad bowl, and I'm gonna take this bungee down right here, and I'm going to get out my scale. I'm gonna get out my cutting board and a little knife, my spoon to spoon the avocado out, my scissors to cut. Oh, I realized what I forgot. Now this doesn't need to be refrigerated, but it's just a convenient place to keep it. Right down on the side here is I keep my nori. Nori does not need to be refrigerated, but I keep it there for convenience. So the first thing I'm going to start with, the first thing I do is I open my trash barrel. I just open this bottom cubby, so I have my trash available as I'm trimming things and cutting things. So the first thing I do, I like to put my avocado at the bottom. If you've seen me make salads before, you know I like to put my avocado at the bottom. That way it gets buried under all the other food, and it doesn't get brown when it hits the air because it's all buried in food. So I'm just gonna scrape this out. Look at that. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous avocado. I love avocado. I eat one a day. So I like to clean up as I go along. I know I'm not going to need a spoon again for the rest of this salad. So I just give it a spray, give it a wipe, put it away. I always like to clean up as I go along. So now on top of that, I like to put my nori, because I love when the nori, like right out of the bag here, it's very crispy. but once it sits with everything, it gets very limp and chewy and delicious. I just like to do this. There's the avocado and the nori. All set with the nori. But see how my salad bar just works just lovely? It has all my stuff and I just return it there when I'm done with it. Here's my arugula. I stopped and got some arugula. I left a whole big, huge container of it at home. That made me a little bit sad. But I forget stuff. It's just part of who Lulu is. And I've just embraced it rather than getting upset or worried about it. It's just what I do. I forget shit. I just forget shit. It's no big deal. It's not the end of the freaking world. All right, so now look at that lovely arugula. And I'm gonna throw on these carrots. Might as well just use the end of the bag, and I have a whole nother bag of them. Spread those around. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful color. And I'll take one of these green onions. These are a little sad looking. I'll trim off the sad parts. There we go. Let's see. I can salvage these. Let's see, now I'll grab a couple of radish. So I'll get my little cutting board. These are all washed. I rinsed them all. So you know what's interesting? I stayed at Cracker Barrel last night, and I know a lot of people strongly believe that if you stay at Cracker Barrel, you should go in there and eat. But I'm not eating there. I'm not eating one thing that they make, and I don't want to buy anything that they sell. And I just very comfortably just receive from them, from the goodness of their heart, without reciprocating. I don't think that they believe it's necessary to reciprocate, but I think they enjoy it if you do. And I found a little way to kind of pay it back, even though I don't feel like I need to. Where I was parked, right in the front of my car, I looked, I was right on a curb with some grass and a little fence. Trash. It was just trash. And so what I did was I grabbed one of my little trash bags and I went out and I filled it right up to the brim. I went up to the door at Cracker Barrel, right where the trash barrels are, and I put it right in there. And it felt good to do that, and I should do that wherever I go, whether they're giving me something or not. I could, not that I should, I could. Look at this delicious purple cabbage. Look at the color of that. Look at that. So I like to, even though I slivered this all up, I like it cut a little bit smaller. So I just go through it with the scissors like that. So yeah, so I cleaned up trash at Cracker Barrel today. That was nice. It felt good. Okay, so there we have it, 16 ounces of veg. Look at that, how gorgeous is that? So what I like to do is I like to make a little well in the middle, just like this. Just a little well, see that? I like to fill that up with rice. Five ounces to be exact. See how nice that looks? Just that big little well filled up with rice. That's a combination of, if you can tell, it's a little yellowed. That's because I used a veggie broth when I cooked it at home. I used a little veggie broth and came out a little yellowed. I put a little bit of wild rice in with the basmati rice, so it just looks pretty like that. So here's the end of the chicken. I had fish last night. I had some of the canned fish last night. I'll finish this chicken today. I used, you know what I did instead of smoked paprika on this? I used a ginger powder, and I just sprinkled a ginger powder all over this, and it's a gingery chicken. It's pretty gosh darn good. So I like to cube it up, and I do that with scissors like that. I like to have 6 ounces of this. And that's 6 ounces. Now I'm going to put on some olive oil. Get my little things of oil, and I'm going to put on a 1/2 ounce, which is 0.50. Just enough fat to keep my joints lubricated, my weight stable, just the perfect amount of oil. Here are my lunch supplements that I put together when I have breakfast. I put those together, so they're all ready for me. All right, so there's my pepper, my white pepper, my pink salt. I like to give it a little shake so everything gets to, look at that. How beautiful is that? So now I am done with my scale. And I am going to spray and wash these dishes. The scissors, the knife, and the cutting board. There we go. In my opinion, everything feels very clean when I clean like this. You know, I don't have a sink, don't want a sink. Just don't want it. I'm good like this. I've tried the vinegar and water. Don't like the smell, don't want to smell that. Do not want to smell that as I go about my day. And this is rubbing alcohol, but it's very watered down. It's not like it's full strength rubbing alcohol that I'm breathing in. Oh, because that would be a little rough. It's just watered down. It's just the right amount that it feels, everything feels sterilized, feels good. So now everything on the salad bar needs to go back into the cooler. So I just hop up, open her up, and I put the little stuff back in this little basket. There we go. Put this over. I put this right on the other side of the basket. Here's my cabbage, my arugula. And there you have it. Lunch on the road. I got my fork right here. And you see how wonderfully, do you see how wonderfully this kitchen works? It's just how I imagined. I just needed a place to put my stuff and then a place to prepare. You know, if my food preparation wasn't such a project and an ordeal and important to me, I wouldn't have this big, huge cooler. I wouldn't have all this counter space. This would be just enough to open up a can of something and pour it in and heat it up. I mean, you know, but that's just not the way I'm eating on the road. So, you all know that. Everything is staying nice and clean. And I'm good to go. So I'm going to enjoy my lunch while I'm here in Ohio. After my lunch, I'm going to say I have another hour and a half and I'll be in Indiana. So here I am again for dinner time. So I just took out my little stove. I cracked my back doors and I cracked 3 eggs. I cracked my doors, cracked my eggs. How about that? So I'm having 3 eggs and I'm gonna have some sweet potato and I'm gonna have some that broccoli that I cooked last night, and I think I'm going to cook some of these green beans. And I think instead of taking out the pressure cooker right now, after I cook the eggs, I'm going to put some of these in the pan with some water and just soften them up a bit. I think this bra with this shirt doesn't work out very well, huh? So, oh, there you go. Yeah, now it looks like it's supposed to look. I'm a mess. So I have a little bit of oil in there, and I gotta get my fork. Just give these a very gentle, just a gentle beating. Just a little gentle breakup. Ooh, that's a nice sizzle for ya. That's gorgeous. Gorgeous sizzle. I like to pick the edges up and then drip down the stuff that's not cooked into the part that I lift up. That's how I like to evenly cook eggs. That's what I like to do anyway. So now I'm kind of thinking this might be ready to give a little turn. Nice. Now that will sit there with the heat off for a moment, just until I get this stuff cleaned. I want to get the raw egg off of everything. And I'm going to get the raw egg out of this guy right here. glue back right in there. All right, this is done. So I'm gonna put this right here, right in my dinner bowl. There's the first part. Okay, so now the next part is the sweet potato, and I don't need that heated up. I don't mind cold food. I just don't mind cold food, warm food, hot food, a little of each, doesn't matter. So let me get my 5 ounces of sweet potato. There we have it. So this looks like it's just enough for tomorrow's breakfast. Oh, what a glorious, glorious thing. So what I'm gonna do is, while the green beans are cooking, I'll dice up that sweet potato. But for right now, I'm gonna throw a little bit of water in this from the Berkey. A little bit of water so we can give these beans a nice little steameroonie. So we'll turn her on. And I'm going to get my little scissors. And here I go again. Here I go again with a road trip without a cover. Damn. You know, God bless me. God bless me. I'm going to turn this down a little bit, and I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go in my little cabinet here. Don't mind my butt. I'm going to go in my cabinet here and get my tin foil. And I'm going to use tin foil as the cover. So I'm in Illinois right now. I just crossed over the border. I'm in the Welcome Center. Let's get you a little bit more water. It's starting to dry up. Oh! There we go. There we go. So I am in the Welcome Center in Illinois. I just crossed the border. And I gained an hour. So right now, normally I eat at 5 o'clock. Right now it says it's 6:25, but it's really 5:25 where I am right now. So I just adjusted. I waited the extra hour so that I could get on board with the new time zone. So, all right, so we put that all over there. I'll get another wet wipe. Handling these sweet potatoes can get a little sticky. Okay, so now I get my little tongs. We'll give those a little scoot around the pan a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. You know, I set up my tripod earlier when I was making my salad. I didn't feel like taking the tripod out again. So I just have it sitting on top of the cabinet with the Jamaican picture. I just stuck it right on top of there, my iPad. And it's okay. It's okay. I mean, if I have something to show you, I'll go like this. See? Eggs and sweet potato. Then I'm going to get my broccoli. This is cold leftover broccoli. And I'm going to put this in here. Let's just see how much the green beans weigh. this knife. I can clean the spatula too. I'm done with that. Good. All right, I'm turning this heat off. All right, so the rest of these are gonna go right in here with the and you know what I'm gonna do now? Because it just makes total sense to me. Now that I have the dirty pan, the stove out, everything's going, I'm gonna just cook the rest of these green beans. I'm gonna just do the next little batch of them. Because it makes sense to me. Here I am again making a video without a microphone. I keep forgetting. You know, I don't have my son here. My son's always like, every time we're gonna start recording, he's like, where's your microphone? I'm like, I did it again, I forgot again. And he's always reminds me. And so if you can't hear this, I apologize, because it really sucks. It sucks to do that. All right, there we go. So now over here, I have my egg at the bottom, my sweet potato, my beans, and my broccoli. I use a ½ ounce of oil on every dinner, which is a tablespoon. And so that's 0.5. So I used 0.2 in with the eggs. So I'm going to use I'm going to use coconut oil. I'm going to use 0.3 because I've already used 0.2. I used 0.2 when I was making my eggs. I'm going to use 0.3. 0.30. 0.30. Right there. Right there. Right there, son of a gun. Lovely. So I don't need my scale anymore. With dinner, I take a B6. Just a B6 with dinner. All right, I'm gonna say that's good enough. Even if they're a little al dente, that's just fine. So now I'm gonna clean these. This is a great pan. Look at how that cleans. It's called The Rock. R-O-C-K. All capital letters. The Rock. And it is like a rock. It's like a stone. It's not Teflon. And it just nothing sticks to it. It cleans up really easy. It's a great pan. Not cheap though. I think this little one is like maybe like $30 or $40. It's not cheap, but it's worth it. In my opinion, it's worth it. So I'm going to let the stove cool off before I put that away. I'm going to let this cool off before I put it away. And I'm going to put my dinner right here, and I will have that momentarily. I'll put my cleaning stuff away. I'll put my wipes away.